Hey guys, if you saw my previous video, I spoke about how I love to walk, and not only do I love to walk, I also was going to show you one of the routes that I take. Now this is the middle of Montreal. This was at McGill Eaton Center, and I'm showing you basically that you can get from the middle of downtown into Old Montreal all the way indoors. Now I'm not going to show you the entire thing because it's quite lengthy. And I also wanted to show you the Old Port, which is one of my favorite hangout spots. So you're going to see most of the indoor here, but then we're going to get outside in a little bit, and I'm going to show you around and show you what makes Montreal so special as far as one of the greatest cities here in Canada. All right, everyone. So I am outside of Place Bonaventure. That is basically what you just saw last. I am really in the beginning parts of Old Montreal. So we're going to continue our walk because we ain't done yet. We ain't going for a pit stop. But I did this early morning because it's the easiest time to do it. There's less people on the road. It's also Canada Day, so I don't think anybody's going to be outside that much until maybe later on this afternoon. So let's keep going. Okay, so when I tell you that I love to walk, I really mean I love to walk, okay? And I'm not strolling. I'm like picking up the pace because I want my heart rate to go up a little bit, get some oxygen in my body, get that blood pumping and flowing. That's how I walk. I'm just slowing down now so I could explain that to you, because if I were to do this video at the rate that I walk, I'd be like completely out of breath. But we are nowhere near done. We still got a ways to go. So just to give you the idea of how much I love to walk. All right, let's go. All right, we are at the Old Port, in the quasi beginning of the Old Port, so to speak. I could have gone further. I could have taken a different route that would have brought me further down. Like if you just look down there, you'll see, I don't know if you see the second stoplight, but anyway, sometimes I come from that angle and I walk down here. There's a little path that you can't see because of the trees and everything like that and all the other stuff that's blocking it. But usually I start from here, but this is actually where I am. And this is where I continue my walk. We are not done. There is still more to do. Okay, let's go. thought I'd just share a little something about this city, because sometimes we just take it for granted that we live somewhere. We don't even take the time to look around and recognize the rich history that we have in this city, good, bad, or indifferent. There's a story to be told. Why are we here? Why does the city look the way it does? All of that is important, and understanding where you are and how you fit in. And so I just hope you guys enjoyed those little clips there of Montreal's history and how Montreal was built and what it looks like now, what it stands for now, and how we've been able to maintain its history and tell our story through the buildings, through the old port itself. Pretty interesting. Get out and discover your city. We always talk about going different places, different islands, and discovering different cultures, which is fine and dandy. I have nothing against that. But have you actually explored your own backyard? If you haven't, you should take the time to do so. So, does anyone know anyone who owns like one of these boats? These like mini yachts or whatever. I'm gonna call it mini yachts. Anybody just know anyone who owns any of these? I want to go on one. That's it. That's the comment. I want to go on one of these. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what this boat is, what type of cruise, so to speak, it does around the island, but I know that it does hit some like hot spots, if you will, of Montreal and the old port and the surrounding area, the South Shore. So if you ever want to get like a quote unquote tour of the city by water, this is where you would come to hop on one of these boats. So some of them vary in price. It's not too pricey, quite honestly. On Friday, this past Friday, my daughter and I went on one of these boats. And so it was a lot of fun. And I will document that. I have that documented. I'll upload that at some point. But it was like her birthday week. And so we did some fun stuff together. But yeah, if ever you want to take, just a tour around the island, even see the South Shore, which is basically south of the island, take one of these boats. It's fun. Okay, so the next thing is, yeah, you see this big old Ferris wheel. That's cool and whatever. But every summer we have Cirque du Soleil, who comes through with a new show. Now, I went to their show last year. Oh my God, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. So here are the tents for where they perform. And you see the show. You wouldn't even believe how spacious it is in there. It is absolutely spacious in these tents. But what an incredible show. It was fantastic. So this is quite an interesting building here. It was built in 1967 as part of the World Fair Expo 67 that took place here in Montreal. It's called Habitation 67. It is living quarters. At least I think most of it is living quarters. It was built by an architect here from Montreal, born and raised. I don't want to say his name because I fear of butchering it. But this was part of the celebration in 1967, also celebrating Canada's centennial birthday. So that celebration here in Montreal lasted for 6 months. This is one of the highlights, as well as another one that you'll see in probably the following clip. But everybody finds this building very interesting, and so do I. So this is the biosphere, what I was alluding to before as part of Expo 67. It has a very, very rich history here. Namely, in its inception, we had a collaboration with the United States to share some aerospace exhibits. But many other different exhibits have passed through here, some cultural, some environmental, some even magical, if you will. But in 1976, the structure, half of the structure was damaged due to renovations. So they were welding this structure and repairing it when the transparent dome, which we can't even see at this point, was damaged, causing the biosphere to close down for quite a while, all the way up till 1995 when it reopened and it turned into an environmental museum. So quite an interesting story behind this structure. I've never been to the biosphere, and I plan to visit it this summer because I feel like it's one of the things that I have not done here on the island of Montreal. So I'm really excited. All right, y'all. So this is the Jacques Cartier Bridge. This is a bridge, one of two bridges that connects the island of Montreal to the South Shore. You can see right here. I'm not too crazy about bridges, but I've been over it multiple times, so you know I feel good about it. So a couple of things here. If I zoom in here, this is the Molson Brewery. Okay, Molson has been here for ever and a day. It's a staple of Montreal here. So that's the brewery. Then also, if I zoom in here, this is the Old Port Tower. So this is where most of commerce back in the day, when I say back in the day, I'm talking about like a couple of centuries. Back in the day, this is where everybody would migrate as far as bringing in goods to the island of Montreal and to Quebec as a whole. They would pass through Montreal in order to export goods and import goods, and merchants and tradesmen would come get their stuff here, or they would carry them out to the other cities in the province of Quebec and maybe into the upper north. So this is like the hub for all shipping stuff. And then you could probably see a little bit here. You see like a lot of ship containers. There's some past here too, if we keep going, and other types of ships. And then if I zoom out now and zoom back in here, this is the amusement park. This is Six Flags. It was originally called La Ronde, but Six Flags bought this amusement park several years ago. So it's called La Ronde Six Flags. So for my American people, you know what Six Flags is. Pretty fun place. Again, off island. So it's on Île Sainte-Hélène. So St. Helens Island for the Anglophones. The entire island is the amusement park. So yeah. If you want to do some fun, daring stuff during the summer, you would want to go over here and have some fun. And you take this very same bridge that I'm talking about if you're going by car to connect to this island. So does this place look familiar? This is the area where I usually chill out, where I just enjoy my time by the water. If you recall, I'm always showing this part of the river, right? So yeah, this is where I usually chill out. But we're not going to do that today. Just going to show you pretty much the old port. So this is the entrance to the Sailors' Church. It is the oldest church in Montreal. It was built in 1771. So there is no other church that's older than this one, and that is still more or less operational. But now it's for tours and for tourists. You can see at the top, there's a tower there. You can go visit at the very top as well. It's a beautiful, beautiful building. We went in there. We took some pictures. It was really nice. Okay, everyone, this is Marché Bon Secours. So I showed you the back side of this place. This is the front. This is the entrance, and it stretches for quite a bit. And in this building, you have different shops in here, restaurants, sightseeing. You know, this is a staple of Montreal here. So it stretches for quite a bit. It's a pretty cool place. Again, like I said, it's a heritage place, so this ain't gonna get knocked down, but it is really the staple and the foundation of Old Montreal here. Also notice that a lot of people from Hollywood come down here because of, you know, the rich history and the vintageness of Old Montreal. So it's great for filming. And if you take a look down the street here, can see it really just looks like old school Paris, so to speak. We have a lot of French European influence here, so yeah, if you just take a look down the street, this is why it's called Old Montreal, because it's old French style. If you were to go to Paris, you'd probably see something pretty similar here. So anyway, we're gonna keep going. So this is pretty much the plaza here in Old Montreal. What you will notice down here, I mean, it's still super early in the morning, so there really isn't much going on. People are pretty much setting up their stuff. But here is where you would find artists. You would find, again, different small shops selling whatever creations they have. You can see someone here setting up right here. Selling paintings, artwork, you name it. This is the center here. It's usually pretty busy. You also have the local restaurants, which aren't open yet. But yeah, this place is usually busy by 11 o'clock, 11:30, noon. This place is packed, like super packed. And I noticed that people like to take pictures right here along this archway. I mean, it's pretty and all. It's not as full as it was earlier this year, which is interesting. But this is really a hot spot for people who want to take pictures. So quick thing about this, this restaurant slash, I don't know what you want to call it, restaurant. I'm just going to call it restaurant. But this place is dope. It's called Pangia. And their menu changes like almost daily. You don't have the same menu every day. So that's really exciting. I went to this place for a networking event. That's where this particular picture came from. It is beautiful in here, and the food is excellent, like excellent. So this dark building that you see here is Palais de Justice. It's our local courthouse. All the big cases that are handled here in Montreal are handled there, if not every single case that's handled there. But if you continue to follow where I'm turning, you're going to see another big building as well. That is Palais des Congrès. Now, major events happen here, conferences, you name it, it happens here. All right, guys, so that's it for us. I'm going to continue walking, of course, because I ain't done yet. But I hope you guys enjoyed the sights. You got to learn a little bit about Montreal. Maybe it might entice you to visit. By all means, you are welcome. But remember to explore your own backyard. You know, explore the beauty of what is your city. I'm sure there are places you've never been, you've been curious about. Get up and go. Get up and go and see what that's all about. And learn, you know, the history of where you come from. It might just add some more value to your city, add some extra love to your city as well. But until next time, guys, you take care, be blessed, stay safe, and get outside. Don't stay sitting down. Get outside. Enjoy your city. Enjoy the weather. Have a great summer.